Hello and welcome to ATI 4205. In this session, we are going to address the importance of inventory management and strategies, approaches, and methods used to manage inventory, including determining the order quantity required to replenish stocked items. In addition, this session will address the different costs associated with inventory management and some of the methods used to minimize cost and increase warehouse efficiency. Amazon as a company started as a virtual retailer with no inventory, no warehouse, no overhead. Amazon just used computers to be the middleman between the seller and the buyer, taking orders from people to be fulfilled by others. The growth forced Amazon to become a world leader in warehousing and inventory management. So what will be the best than using an example, a real life example of inventory management than this company. Each order is assigned by computer to the closest distribution center that has the product or the products. A flow master or master at each distribution center assigns work crews. It's like somebody who organizes the movement of stuff within that distribution center. We have lights that indicates product that has to be picked, and lights will be reset, so it will move to the next order. Items are placed in crates on conveyors. Barcode scanners can scan each item for 15 times to virtually eliminate any errors. Crates arrive at central point where items are boxed and labeled with new barcode. Gift wrapping is done by hand at 30 packages per hour. Completed boxes are packed, taped, weighed, and labeled before leaving warehouse in a truck. Order arrives at customer within 2 days to a week, especially if you have the Prime membership now. With the current membership that Amazon offers, they have 2-day shipping, they have overnight if you want to pay more. So by the time you order it at night, in the morning at 10 a.m. you will have it at home. Amazon recently deployed their own delivery system and created a fleet of 100,000 electrical delivery vehicles. Looking at the growth in Amazon and the need for warehousing, distribution, and inventory management takes us to the definition of inventory. What's inventory? Inventory is the raw materials, the components, component parts, the work in process or finished products that are held at location in the supply chain. The need to receive, put away, store, pick up, process, package, and ship crates or boxes create the need to manage these operations and schedule the required resources, including equipment. This creates the need to supervise the non-capitalized assets and stock items. This creates the need to supervise the flow of goods from manufacturers to warehouses and from these facilities to point of sale or end user. Inventory is one of the biggest corporate assets. It could represent as much as 50% of total invested capital in the company or from the company. Investment in inventory is currently over 1.25 trillion based on the US Department of Commerce publication. Inventory accounts for almost 25% of the gross national product. Managing inventories will lead to increase in the efficiency of the whole supply chain. Right inventory at the right place could lead to growth in sales and cost reduction which leads to higher profits. Inventory functions and operations will include the assembly or separation of various parts of the production process. Inventory can protect the firm from uncertain demand. It will be for the company to take advantage of quantity discounts, and it will enable the company to hedge against inflation. This slide shows an example of the material flow cycle. As shown in the figure, the runtime is only 5% of the total cycle time, while 95% will be moving, waiting, setting up the machines that would be required to process the item. So 95% is just a waste or movement or waiting, and 5% only the processing. It's very important to use the proper methods and techniques to classify inventory items, and it's very important to ensure and maintain accurate inventory records. The main goal of inventory management and inventory control is to achieve satisfactory levels of customer service while keeping ordering and carrying inventory cost within reasonable bounds. Inventory turnover can be defined as the ratio of average cost of goods sold to average inventory investment. An effective inventory management system should keep track of inventory like the number of items on the shelf, the number of items being processed, the number of items sold, the number of items being ordered, and the number of items being shipped. This inventory management system should be able to forecast demand and order items based on the identified lead time. Using the generated data, the system should be able to generate estimates of holding, ordering, and shortage costs. The system should be able to classify inventory items in an efficient way. Some of the most used classification techniques in an inventory system is the ABC analysis technique, which divides inventory into three classes based on annual dollar volume. Class A, high annual dollar volume. Class B, medium annual dollar volume. Class C, low annual dollar volume. This technique or approach is used to establish policies that focus on the few critical parts and not the many trivial items that are in inventory. For example, in this slide shows the implementation of such technique on inventory items based on the annual dollar volume. So the first two items, which is 10 SKU number or stock number 10286 and 11526, represent 72% of the annual dollar volume, while items 3, 4, and 5 represent 23% of the annual dollar volume. All other inventory items, although you have more in stock from these items, it just only represents 5% of the annual dollar volume. So those are the trivial items. But the one under class A and B are more important item. Actually, the most one is the items classified under A. This chart or the chart in this slide also confirms that the first two items is making the most of the annual dollar volume. Most of the money is coming from the first two items. Most of the companies or the firm's money is coming from the two items, and then just a few from B and then the rest from C. The ABC analysis can also include other criteria than annual dollar volume, such as the anticipated engineering changes, if we have any delivery problems, if we have quality problems, or if we have high unit cost. So all these criteria can assist in the ABC analysis and define which items will be the most beneficial to the company. To ensure the success of this technique, policies will be employed, and these policies may include like more emphasis on supplier development for A items, tighter physical inventory control for A items, or classified A items, more care in forecasting for A items. So I need to make sure that they are secure, that they are taken care of, that I forecasted that demand. I know exactly what's going on with these items because they are making the most money for the company. As stated before, it's very important to ensure and maintain accurate inventory records. Accurate records will allow the organization to focus on what's needed. It will allow the organization to make precise decisions about ordering, scheduling, and shipping. Record accuracy applies to both incoming and outgoing items. To ensure accuracy, all measures should be taken, including securing stock rooms, especially with A items in the ABC classification analysis approach. Accuracy can be achieved through inventory counting systems, such as using a periodic system, which is the physical count of items made at periodic intervals, or cycle, what we call cycle counting. It's been called cycle counting. Or the use of perpetual inventory system, system that keeps track of removals from inventory continuously, thus monitoring current levels of each item. We can count using a 2-bin system, which is a 2-container of inventory. When the first is empty, an order will be placed to replenish inventory items. We can also count or track items using a universal barcode, printed on a label that has information about the item to which it's attached. In the periodic or cycle counting items, cycle counting items are counted and records updated on a periodic basis to reflect what you have in inventory. This counting method is often used with the ABC analysis technique to determine the periodic intervals using or used in the counting process. The cycle counting has several advantages. Using the cycle counting will eliminate the need for shutdown and interruptions. You don't need to shut down the whole factory or the whole warehouse just to count the items that you have in inventory. You can do periodic, where you can shut down a certain area or just close a certain section and count the items in that section. Since items are periodically counted, that eliminates the need for an annual inventory adjustment. We do adjustment periodically, so whatever we have as an error or a mistake can be corrected immediately or can be adjusted immediately. It uses trained personnel to audit inventory accuracy. Whoever is using the system knows exactly what they're doing, knows exactly how to count and how to do inventory adjustments. It allows the identification of the root causes of errors, which provide the opportunity to correct those errors. The periodic counting maintains accurate inventory records all the time because of that continuous correction. For example, if there are 5,000 items in inventory, 500 A items, 1750 of B items, and 2750 of C items. The organization policy based on that classification is to count A items every month, 20 working days, B items every quarter, that's 60 working days, and C items every 6 months, that's every 120 working days. To find the number of items that should be counted per day based on the given policy, we divide the quantity by the number of working days within the cycle. That's for A items, we have 500 divided by 20, that's 25 items per day. B, we have 29, that should be counted each day, and for C we have 23 items that should be counted each day. That's a total of 77 items counted per day. With this example, we finish our session for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you and have a great day.